evening, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of the What a Man podcast. Tonight, I have Mr. Desi Alexander. Desi is a comedian. He is from Baltimore. He's also a producer, an actor, a husband, a father, and a podcast host. Welcome, Desi.
Thank you for having me, man. Glad to be here. It's a nice, rainy, ugly day, but I had to take my pits out to get here, man, because I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and I'm honored to have you as well. I'm so glad you agreed to do this. First of all, let me start off by saying congratulations on everything.
Thank you.
You have accomplished so much since I started following you on Instagram. I remember my first Desi video, which was the
Oh, Lord.
one. It was the one when you um the girlfriend speaking up for the guy, and she was like, "I'm gonna call Comcast because they owe us a credit."
Oh, man. But there's so much,
And
man.
I was like, oh my God, that is so much me.
Hmm.
So I started following you and I started seeing the development and you're a really funny guy. So and you represent the city well.
Thank you.
Um, and I also like the fact that you always pay homage to the greats
Yeah.
and you got your set of homeboys, Pudge
Mhm,
being one of them. That's a
mhm.
your buddy and your brother and Jess. And so I'm just really excited to be interviewing you.
Yes, yes.
Um, Congratulations on the marriage and the new baby.
Thank you. Thank you. Weighing me
Um,
out. Yeah, thank you.
so first off, I do know that you used to be a teacher.
Hmm.
Um, so I just wanted to ask you, like, what made you decide that you didn't want to be a teacher anymore, you wanted to pursue comedy amongst other things?
Okay, well, first and foremost, I was a teacher. I was always a comedian. But kids was always my passion outside of stand up.
Hmm.
Um, I was teaching at Halliburton for almost 5 years, and I started to realize my teaching style started to be like my stand up style to keep their attention. A lot of the kids like found it interesting when I involved my life stories into the lesson, and they perk up and listen more. But they felt like they started to get to know me more. And I always preached about following your dreams and taking chances and really just indulging yourself in whatever craft that you're in.
Hmm.
And eventually, I started to feel like I'm sitting there telling them follow their dreams, and I know it's ways I can go harder in comedy and in my content and just really take more chances with myself. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna have to struggle for a minute. I knew it was gonna be tough, but I knew my I guess my craft and what I'm good at will take me further. You know what I mean? So sometimes you got to sacrifice who you are for who you're gonna become. You know?
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up because that in itself is currently what I'm kind of going through. So
Yeah,
it's like you want to invest in yourself and you want to do all these things, but at the end of the day, you know that you still have bills to pay,
yeah,
you have
yeah.
kids to take care of. So
Hmm.
how did you deal with those pressures?
Well, you got to know that it, it's like a thing where you know what's gonna happen, but you don't know how to see outside of the storm, and you got to be able to see past the storm before you go through it. You take a chance like that, you have to have a strong source of family behind you, because that matters a lot. And I've always been the kind of person that took care of everybody else, whether it be my roommates, whether it be my mom, my brothers, my friends, my other comedians. And when I took the chance, it was like the people that I took care of for a long time was like, no, now it's your turn for us to take care of you. From my wife, who was my lady at the time. It was more so I don't know what's going to happen next, but I know on the other end of this struggle is going to be the glory of comedy. And once those people helped, they were able to just give me my time to invest in myself and really start to just grind as hard as I can, man. So it really takes a strong source of family and friends around you, and it makes you feel like you see sometimes like when you're in it, man, it's really tough sometimes. You really feel like giving up. You really feel like, nah, let me stop playing and go get this job real quick. And I feel like, with the craft that we've chosen in any craft, time is of the essence, man. You know what I'm saying? Like time can go, so many years can go by without, if you don't put into it, it's not gonna give it back. It's not gonna turn around for you. So, even in your journey and starting this, I know it's scary, but those people
Yeah.
that you've been taking care of and looking out for, you need a strong family of people behind you to stick around, man, and they gotta understand the bigger picture, and if they
Yes.
know you dedicated and they know you serious about it and they know you good at it and you got the hustle, then they don't mind. But if it's just like a thing where you just being selfish and you ain't been really showing, that you've been trying to grind, they gonna be like, man, you playing. I ain't anybody helping you with nothing. So yeah, man.
So, but besides your brother and your wife, of course, your circle of friends, is it still the same circle of
Yep,
friends as
yep.
compared to? Okay, that's good. That
When I
that's good.
Yeah, because when I started, of course my roommate, he lives in Chicago now. He saw the vision too. My roommate was just like, nah, man, like, because when I took that chance, he was like, no, you took me in when I was like 17, 18 years old. You know what I'm saying? So now I got the job, and let me handle this. Let me take care of this, and you just focus on that. I know you stressed out, and it's like I have pride too. Another thing is the pride. You gotta let your pride go, man. Because sometimes
Mhm.
that pride, I always say, pride comes before the fall. You gotta let that go and just struggle for a little bit and just let people help you. You know.
I know oftentimes when I'm on your page, you mention your dad. I myself, I lost my dad in 2014 to cancer. And when certain things are happening in my life, it's like, damn, I wish he was here
Yeah,
to,
man.
to
Yeah,
see
yeah.
that. And yeah, how does that, how does that resonate with you? How do you deal with that?
Um, I just always talk to him before I get on stage, and I kind of speak in his voice through my voice, as to say, like, "There's you waiting your whole life for this. Like, don't. There's no reason for you to be nervous. Get out there, and just knock him dead." He's always say knock him dead, or he also say give him hell. That was his words to me. Anytime even when I played basketball when I was a kid, he would say give him hell. And hearing him say that gave me so much motivation. I would go out there, do 360s, drop 30. Like it was hearing my father say that, and then seeing him at the game, that would motivate me so much, man. And same thing with the shows. He would just say give him hell, give me a pound, and he would just sit on the side of the stage to my left. And he was always a big motivation for me. And yeah, of course, yeah, you do really feel like it's not even more so you want to boo hoo cry. It's more so like I wish he was here to see this because he know how hard I was going to work for this. He know
Mhm.
we set this path when I first started comedy, and this is what I want to show him to, for him to be proud, for just to be able to share with him one more time. And that sometimes is hard for myself, and I know you too.
So, there are a few characters of yours that I want to ask. Are we going to see them again? Number one, I like the new skits with the singing groups. Um,
Hmm.
where did that concept come from?
Oh my God, man! Me and Jess sitting in the hotel. We just had a show. I think it was in Pittsburgh. I think, and we just was dying laughing at how extra Boys to Men was. If you listen to the Christmas album, if you listen to Boys to Men Christmas album, I never noticed. This is something that Jess gave me. If you listen to their Christmas album, yo, they are so extra on every song. They are mad extra, the runs, even the breathing. Listen to every song that you hear him going like every song. They are being mad extra. Even when the song, how the song fades out, it's going off.
Mhm.
You can still hear them going off in the background as the song is fading out. That's just like, yo, ain't no way. We just was a mad song, and I was just like, I'm about to do this one with Brian McKnight because we kept laughing because I'm supposed to know this. Jess way younger than me. I didn't even know Brian McKnight was on Let It Snow. It's like but you don't know. I was like, hold up, that is Brian McKnight. What the heck? And I didn't realize it. And I did. I was in my hotel room. You can tell I'm in the hotel room with that video, and I did that one first. And it was the fact that it just if you notice with me, I do stuff that make me laugh. I don't really follow too many trends. I be way
Mhm.
over here when everybody talking about this. I be way over here, and that just made me laugh, man. Like that, we just was laughing the whole weekend, just sending songs to each other with different singing groups, just being extra. And just like, yo, you gotta do this video, and I did it, and it took off. And then from there, Jess would send me a song or just whatever she found funny, and I just kept posting them. Yeah,
I like. Did you know that the case one was very similar to the
it
skit
really
that
happened. I did not know that until somebody commented. Like somebody was like, "You know that really happened, right?" because I didn't. I was listening to it because people would be sending me songs to listen to, and somebody said, listen to that K song at the end of it. And he said he couldn't sing no more. I was like, what? And he said I can't sing no more. I was like, yo, he really said that in the song. And then I just made that up, and then somebody was like, "No, that really happened." I was like, "Oh wow!" So, and that actually put me on to another podcast, the R&B one. I like that joint too. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
I like
hilarious.
um I liked why.
Yeah, yo, them little ad libs be so funny, man. Them little small. You don't hear. It's funny how a lot of stuff we don't hear until we adults, man. Like until we
Yeah.
grown, we be hearing them little things like, what did he? Why did he say that? Like even with Pharrell, if you listen to a lot of Pharrell songs, he's whispering creepy stuff in the background. Like, why are you doing that, Pharrell? Like if you listen to fronting, listen to him whispering in the background at the end of fronting with him and Jay Z, being
And you
real
know
creepy.
what?
Man.
I'm gonna do that. Now when we
Yep,
get
yep.
so one person I would like to see come back, and I'm asking if he will manifest be back.
Okay. Oh, manifest. Oh man, dang. That was the what I was doing the open mic joints, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Oh man, I gotta go. See, man, me losing my page, man, I lost so many things, man. So I don't be knowing unless y'all tell me.
Yeah,
But
so
that was
this is
like,
how you know I'm a real fan. Like this
yeah,
is
man, you definitely brought one back on. I said I forgot all about Manifest, man. And he was the villain in the whole situation. But that
and
that comes from the open mic days, man. Because I came up in the arts district as far as like my stand up, because there wasn't a lot of open mics in Baltimore.
mhm,
So I would just, like I said, I would sneak into poetry nights and little R&B nights and lie and say I was a singer, or lie and say I was a poet. I would write names like Manifest and stuff like that, and I would get on stage and stand up. So that's how I would get on stage. But that's why I have a big love and respect for the art community, because they really let me in, and it was really hard for like just standalone comedians to do shows and stuff. You ain't got no following in the city. It's not a lot of rooms, but it was a lot of people in the art district, in the art community, that was like letting me on stage. After a while, they just had a respect for me that I was doing that, and I
mhm.
was always around a lot of poets and a lot of singers. So that's where those characters came from, because I know those people. You know.
Okay. Um, and one more thing before we move on. Will we ever get to see Zoe opening stuff again?
Oh man, that was fun too. Yeah, when she saw it, you know what, with kids, man, they go through so many phases. You just try to pour into that phase when they're interested in something. And Zoe was watching the little white kids on TV, like, "Hey guys, today we're gonna," and then Zoe like at that time like doing that because she likes seeing other kids do it. And right now, yeah, I would definitely add a couple more in with that, but I'm just really trying to dig into what she want to do, because I want her to be passionate about it, and it's
Okay.
really hard because she's so scatterbrained like me, but she's really been into fashion lately, and I want to set up a little fashion show for her, but she's really into fashion, of course Roblox, but fashion's been her thing. She be watching the little Victoria's Secret runway joints with her mom. Like when I'm not there, they be just watching mad fashion shows, and Zoe just loves clipping and cutting stuff and clothes and stuff. So
Well,
Macy's fashion show type stuff, So
please let her know that if she ever needs a model, I am her biggest fan, and
okay,
I will definitely come down and do whatever it is she needs me to
she gonna ruin it. She gonna ruin the outfit for you. Right? Cut up everything.
do. So I wanted to ask, is there anyone that you in your journey um wanted to work with and you have worked with them?
Mm. One person I always wanted to work with Paul Mooney, and I always wanted to work with Richard Pryor, but Paul Mooney was right with Richard Pryor. I
Mhm.
always wanted to meet them, and it went from me meeting them to actually doing a show with them a year later, which is like the definition of just be patient, man. Like I had spurts of just going, like when I was like early on in my stand up career, like I had spurts of me just saying I gotta take a chance on just going to New York and just trying something. And I tried it. I found out Paul Mooney was doing a show in I think in Brooklyn, and I
Mhm.
was trying to open for him, and they of course weren't gonna just let me open when they only know me. But I went to the show, took a picture with him, he signed a book for me and all that, and a year later he came to Baltimore, and I didn't even know. And Alabama, the guy that brought me to the stage for the first time, he called me. He's like, "You trying to feature for Paul Mooney, and I said, yes, please, you yes. And
Oh,
after the
wow.
show, I did my set. As soon as I walked off stage, he just held his fist out to me. He was like, "Good set, homie." I looked at it, I was like, "Thanks, man." Like, and people don't even realize how important that was to me. But I had to keep my
Mhm,
cool. But
mhm.
man, I was inside. I was screaming on the inside, man, because I was just like, that's just something that another thing that my dad would have been proud of. Yeah.
Is there someone that you want to work with and you haven't yet, or have you gotten like
Mhm.
this close to them and it just quite didn't
It's a
work
few.
out?
It's a few. I would say Earthquake. I would say probably a Mike Epps. I would say like a D Ray. Who else? It's a lot of comedians. I'm in the room with them. You know what I'm saying? I be right there in the room with them sometimes. And of course, I don't just jump out and ask. There's ways to go about things. Um, I always wanted to work with Kevin Hart. I just did that a couple months ago. So I just feel like you just gotta be consistent and just be present in your craft, because as long as you do that, like the energy is gonna come to you. You just gotta be able to perform when it does. Just stay consistent, and it's gonna happen. Whether it take a year or two or not, it's going to happen. And ain't no rush. You know.
So let me turn the page for a second. Let me kind of divert from your career, and I wanted to ask you a question that'll be a little tiny bit personal to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, the state of our city.
Hmm.
Um, I am in Atlanta now, but I
Hmm.
was born and raised Baltimore. And I
Hmm.
always tell my children, because they're a little older now, and I'm telling them like that's not the same Baltimore that I grew up in.
Nah, it's
Um,
not.
it's way different, and I sometimes it's sad. What
Yeah.
what what do you feel like is the real problem?
Um. I think, of course, the powers to be aren't working hard enough to make the right changes that we need. Not to say things were perfect back in the day, but it was a lot more. There's a lot more family. I would say the vibe that you get from Baltimore.
Hmm.
I can remember. It's like when you look back at your neighborhood growing up. I can look at every house in my mother's neighborhood and tell you who lived in what house, because I've been in every house on my block. And
Hmm.
nowadays, it's like there's no community no more. There's no family no more. And I think it's like every man for themselves. And I don't think the powers to be are making enough changes to switch that around. Um, and part of me think they don't care. And I think the people who are trying to make changes are like giving up and feeling like I'm just, spinning my wheels here. So I'm gonna just help in my little portion of the community, which is what I do. I still mentor young
Hmm.
men all over the city. So I can't change the world of Baltimore, because Baltimore is a planet within itself. I can't change the overall view of it. All I can do is what I can from my little corner of the world, and I think I'm doing good with that. Because you'll stress yourself out trying to make the big changes for the city, man. For real.
Yeah, yeah, I will definitely agree. Um, do you feel like, especially with the kids, um, of course, we always know that it starts at home,
Yeah.
but if the parents are not equipped to do the job, what do you feel like is a good resolution is like for the parents?
Mm, that's a good question. For the parents, you still have to have your shining lights of your family to talk to. I feel like we don't take the time out to spend time with the parents that we grew up with, other than our grandparents, our OGs in the neighborhood. We don't make an effort to do that anymore. We
Mhm,
don't. The younger generation feel like we preaching to them too
mhm,
much. We too
mhm,
like hating, and we really just trying to give them information that we feel like they should know, and it's important. Like when we were younger, we couldn't wait to sit there under one of our grandparents and just listen to them. Nowadays it's more so like they don't want to hear none of that.
right.
And that disconnect is hurtful to me, because I know how important, in some cultures they pay for grandparents to just hang around. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
it's like a privilege. But I just feel like, we just need that big mama. Ain't no more big mamas no more. No, ain't no more pop pops no more, man. So I just feel like we need to bring that back, man. I think it's possible though.
So in terms of you did mention what you do as far as mentorship. What is that? What do you do?
I'm in houses back to back during the week, man. Just helping them with their social anxieties, triggers, and just helping them cope with different things that they're going through, man, and just being a voice and being the ear to what's happening with them is very important to me. I love doing it. Um, I Some of my boys is grown now, just like when you teach, you see your kids grow. Some of them grown now. Some of them all feel like my life would have been a lot different if I wasn't around you. You know what I'm saying? I find that to be very rewarding because I never asked them for anything but for their success and for them to be the best version of themselves. And yeah, mentoring is definitely like another passion of mine that I stay on top of every week when I'm home. You know.
Mhm. So, another thing in regards to El City, does it irritate you when you on the road or you doing your skits and you say to and do and the avenue and they be like, say that again?
Yeah. You just be like, this is how I talk. Like this, we don't be doing this on purpose. This is how we talk. But I've learned to embrace it in recent years because don't nobody sound like us. Can't nobody sound like no matter how they
Like,
try. Can't nobody sound like us. Even in that movie when they did the dirtbag movie for Baltimore, that little boy was trying his best to sound like he was from Baltimore. That boy, he butchered the hell out of that accent. I was like, come on, man. It's
I
40,
saw you
50
in
young
that
men.
movie too. I saw you.
Man, it's like 40, 50 little boys you can go pick up off nobody to play this role, man. That boy did not sound like he was from Baltimore, bro. There was so many people. I was like, yo, come on. Y'all are killing this accent, man. What are y'all doing?
Mhm.
But, it's something that I've embraced in recent years. And a lot of times, people like our accent.
And
They
I,
like,
you know what? That's what it is for me. It's like y'all make fun of it so bad, but
mm-hmm.
you want us to say certain things,
You
which
really
leads
like it.
you to believe that you really like
You really
it.
like it. It's okay. Just say you like it.
have
Yep.
you have you met Meek Mill by any chance? Okay,
Nah, I have better.
okay.
I'm pretty
Because
sure. I'm pretty sure I run across him. Sales.
so when you do, let him know that he didn't do a good job with the accent.
He got to go to classes for that, man. Mhm.
So I saw that you had a movie out. Did you write the movie?
Which one?
Um, I'm sorry, Desi.
No,
Don't
that's fine. It's fine.
remember. But the
Is it
one
check please?
about the check, yeah, that one. Did you
Check
write that
please.
one?
No, I didn't write check please. My girl Nichelle wrote that, and Alvin
Hmm.
directed it, and I just gave him the name because it was something else. I was like, you should name it check please, and he was like, all right, cool. He stamped it check please. I comedically put a lot of spins on different scenes, but Nichelle, she wrote that joint, and it was a fun movie, man. We filmed it all. We filmed it for like a week. That's how you know people dedicated. Like a movie
Yeah.
can get done in a week. We did that in a week, and he put it out, and he we was still waiting for the distributors to get it on all other platforms and stuff. But the link
Okay.
is available on my page. But that was a fun movie, man. That was fun.
So besides acting, and so what else are you into? Are you script writing now?
Yeah,
Are you
yep, doing that.
production?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm blessed to have the gift of just coming up with ideas and being able to put together a script in moments. Once I get an idea and I grip it, and I start to feel all the characters out. I start to fill out the vibe and each venue. The whole vision comes together, man. And
Hmm.
script writing has become something that I just kind of. I always start with a synopsis, then I leave it alone for a minute, and then I just keep stacking. And then once somebody has, the open space for it, I pitch it, and then I just start elaborating more on it. Like it's a script that I wrote uh last year, right? And my guy Wayne is also a producer. One of my guys, Wayne, he sent it back to me to revise it because he cleaned it up to so he can start to pitch it to other actors and big name actors that can get on it and really get a big boom for it
Hmm.
and studios and stuff like that. He sent it to me. I'm like, this script good. Who wrote this? He's like, you wrote it. I was like, I forgot. I totally forgot I wrote it completely. I was feeling like, well, this is interesting. I like this character. He's like, yo, I'm like, who wrote this? He said, you wrote it. I was like, oh wow, I'm tripping. Because I was like, what character you want me to play it? He said, whatever character you want. It's just I'm like, oh, okay, all right, cool. So I like to just get the ideas out. And I
Hmm.
feel like now at this stage in time in my life, I'm not being selfish because sometimes as comedians, as creators, we feel like I want the money or I want this, I want that. But I feel like once the ideas come to play, it doesn't belong to me anymore. Once an idea comes that's really dope, really brilliant, I feel like it belongs to the world and I just want to
Hmm.
share it. The
Hmm.
money and all that shit is gonna come. It's all about just the happiness and being healthy and creative and doing this. And that's been just how I've been feeling lately, man. So the scripts are gonna keep coming. So yeah,
Is there any because our city has talent too, regardless
yeah.
to what people want to believe. We definitely have talent in the city. Is there anyone from Baltimore that you've worked with or haven't or would like to?
Um, it's a lot of that. It's a lot of all the comedians, of course, that I want to work with. It's funny. I'm actually working with them. As far as directors, it's a few more. I just don't know them by name. But Alvin, I always seen Alvin's work. Got to work with him, and now we talk every day. Um, but yeah, as far as just the directors, you see, a lot of Baltimore directors are really like on the independent tip, the
Hmm.
film festival type. Though that's what I want to get into.
Hmm.
Those filmmakers that are putting their stuff into the actual festivals and stuff. I want to dig into that because there's so many ways you can get your film seen. Because like when you get it to where as though you can put it on a platform, you can that's like the backdoor way, whereas though you get the people straight to the people when you create it and put it out there, social media, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. But then it's the film festival submission. That's a whole nother way. So I kind of want to get into that too. So yeah.
So I know you do have little thing where you play these little clips and then you say, just take the mics away, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
In regards to take the mic away, what? Because I know some of the things that I'm tired of hearing.
yeah,
Especially this who pays the bills in the
yeah.
household debate.
Too
I'm
much.
tired of that. What are some of the things that Desi is tired of hearing about?
Anything that's dividing us as far as relationships, because you got to understand also when you behind that mic you have a responsibility. There's a power behind that mic, and
Hmm.
there are some misguided people who really need good insight, and because that's so free and people just jump out with anything online, you're creating a wedge between people. And some of the stuff is just like uh it's you're supposed to know this kind of stuff, but then you look at it like some people really don't know no better. And then when you put that kind of information out there, you just creating this wedge between men and women, and it's just like a constant argument, just the recycling of arguments, man. I'm tired
Yeah,
of seeing the same arguments over. But in today's world, that's clickbait. That's what's getting the views. That's what's getting seen back to back to back. You just like, come on, I ain't got nothing else to talk about. Like, come on, man. So,
yeah, yeah. So what? So okay. So here's a question, and why do you think that people want to see so much negativity and division? Why is it that we don't want to sit there? Because I know me personally, I want to see it. I want to see positivity, which is one of the reasons why I decided to rebrand the podcast and start it and do it this way.
mhm,
Because there's I feel like there's not enough light shed on men that
mhm,
are doing positive things. I mean, we talk about them, we say, "Oh, that was great," but we never kind of really like get into it and
yeah,
gauge like how it became what it is. So,
mhm.
why do you feel like people don't want to know that kind of stuff?
It's multiple things. Some of it I think is the I'm doing better than these people kind of thing. You ever go to the gym and you see a fat person and you be like, I'm doing bad, but I ain't doing that bad. That's one of them feelings that people get, and they are like it kind of settles the soul when you like, well, they doing worse than me, and this is entertainment, that conflict gets so much clicks and so much views because you're not. It's like a train wreck. It's like a
Yeah.
car crash. You be driving like, man, I wish these people hurry up, and then as soon as your turn to get to the crash, you slow down like you watch. You can't look away from it, and people have taken it to new levels, man. Like you look at Zeus. You see Zeus,
I
and
hate
people and
so
people look at Jerry Springer back in the day like, man, this is trash entertainment. Man, Zeus, them people ain't in jail.
I
Ain't
know.
no way to sleep. You see this stuff going on there, man. They be on there wild. Yo, I watched. We on road. Naya, Just little sister Naya. She was watching one of the shows. Yo, when I say within the first 10 minutes, it was giving me a headache because it was so much yelling and fighting. I
Mhm.
never thought that could happen. I was like watching it, like, why my head hurt? Like, am I sick or something? Like, I really got a headache from. I got stressed out watching it. So it's entertainment. I think it's a version of WWF, but like to a whole nother level. Cause as kids, we watched wrestling. And it's kind of just like that because it's all scripted, but they be fighting for real. That's the only problem. They be really hurting each
Yeah,
other.
yeah, yeah. I think
Wrestling, they be hurting each other too, but
it,
this is
it's
another
just,
level.
yeah, it's a lot. I
It's
don't
a lot.
I watch one thing on Zeus, and then like you said, it was like, yeah, I'm
What's
not.
the common goal? What are they? Are they challenges like back on the old reality shows, like Flavor Love? Remember Flavor Love? They would
That
have
was good. That
activities.
was
They would have activities like they would have to cook. They would have to cook for some old people or to go out on dates trying to win something. It was the end goal. You got to be with Flavor Flav at the end, and every day somebody got eliminated. These new shows ain't nobody getting eliminated. They
good.
just cussing each other out and fighting every day, and
Hmm.
then they go party together.
Hmm.
What is going on?
Yeah.
I'm like, man, but hey, man, it's just the upgraded level. It's just the new level of the WWE, man. It's storyline. It's just like wrestling. It's storylines. It's drama. It's different relationships, but nobody get eliminated. It's just no. They don't name the matches. That's all they doing.
Because
Ain't
it
no
and
tables, ladders, and chairs match. Ain't no tag team champions.
right.
It's just a show with just no matches.
But
But
just
no,
fight.
no, they
Just,
don't name the match. Ain't no hardcore match. Ain't no off the top ropes. It's just one long match.
yeah. And it in my world, and especially of this world of reality TV, I would love to see a show put together of men and women, and they're showing the world how to become something. Like,
Mm,
this is what you want to, you have to do. This is the like. It would
yeah,
be nice to see people actually on the grind.
And it
So
would show drama. It would show a little drama, you
yes.
know. But it would
Mhm.
be the drama that's like this is normal life drama. Okay,
Right.
I think Lala had a show like that. Lala Anthony, I
Mhm.
think her show was like that. I liked her show because it was showing her going for auditions, being a mom, friendships. That was like really relatable. I'm a man, and I was relating to Lala. Like I really be trying to get these auditions too, man. It's hard. And then they probably was like, y'all ain't fighting enough. Ain't nobody
Right.
get stabbed. Ain't nobody cuss nobody out. Ain't nobody sleeping nobody. Ain't nobody cheating on nobody. Man, cut this off. I don't want to see this positive stuff.
Yeah.
But I see what you're saying. Just like a show that gives you like a blueprint, just gives you like a day to day person that's on their grind. I like that.
Yeah. I think maybe we should come up with that.
Now I am doing this thing called 315, where
Mhm.
I'm going to different cities highlighting three comedians, kind of like on some American Idol type, like displaying some
Mhm.
underdogs in every city. I'm putting that together now, so that's kind of similar to it. I'm trying to get it filmed and pitched to whoever, but that's something
Mhm.
I'm just trying to give everybody a spotlight. You know what I'm saying? So that's something similar, but not like somebody that's just like on their grind, like going to auditions and going to and whatever it is, whatever the craft is, whatever they making stuff, showing how they get to distributors, but all that. You know what I'm saying? So that's important. I think it ain't gonna be on Zeus. It'll
Please
probably
don't
be
put it
on.
on Zeus
It's probably
Daddy.
gonna be. It's
Please.
gonna be on TLC or something. It ain't gonna be. It ain't gonna be on VH1. It ain't gonna be on. It's gonna be on something like TLC or I don't know if it can make BET. BET. All I'm like, man, look, y'all, are y'all fighting? Are y'all cheating on each other? Is everybody gay? Is what's going on? We need something to make people watch. But yeah,
Yeah, I
man.
think we would be a good one too. We TV. That's good.
Yep. We
They
TVA.
don't fight that much on we. They don't fight.
It's a breath of fresh air sometimes. Sometimes you
Yeah.
gotta, and I'm not gonna lie, you do need your drama every now and then, but when it's just back to back to back, it's just like, oh my god, like why am I getting anxiety? But it's just because you've been watching Housewives and they fighting in a restaurant. You've been watching that for the, you know what I'm saying? You've been watching them back to back episodes, and we long be watching some of that stuff too. The little doctors of love, whatever it is, the doctors of medicine, the love, and they
Oh,
be arguing. Like,
medicine.
why is all everybody arguing? Why is everybody beefing with each other? I thought they were just showing doctors on the grind. They out here fighting and with gowns on. What's going on? Y'all supposed to be better than this. Like the Potomac wives. I'm thinking y'all showing y'all glamorous life and how y'all maintaining y'all families. People fighting, cheating on each other, sleeping around. What is happening? The camera like, man, cut this show off. Y'all showing this positive stuff. I don't want to see all this stuff. But when y'all gonna fight? That's all I want to see.
So, out of all of the, for the ones that you can remember, all the skits, all what's Desi's favorite one?
My favorite one is Spiritual Girlfriend. Um, of course, when I used to do the teacher ones, those are my favorite ones. What else? Cause there be some of them y'all don't realize I be laughing at myself. If you look at my phone and all the outtakes, those be the funniest ones. Cause it'd be hard for me to. I did one video where I could not stop laughing. I was doing the video where it was different uncles that come to Thanksgiving. This was back when I was at my old crib. When I first started doing video, I said different type of uncles. That was like the uncle that be looking at the young girl, the broke uncle, the uncle that be cheating on his wife. And then I did the gay uncle, and I could not stop laughing at that part, yo. Cause I knew people was gonna be getting mad. Cause when I do like gay commentary on stuff, I send it to my three gay friends, and I do a 2 out of 3. If 2 out of 3 of them say it's appropriate, I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna do it. If all 3 of them say that's not nice, I ain't gonna post it because they know how the social media world is and
Yeah,
gay stuff.
yeah.
So I send it to my gay representatives first, and then they look at it like, all right, tone that down, and then I post it. But that video had
I
me
like
dying.
that. Gay representatives. I like that.
It was like 30 videos of me with a champagne glass, and I just kept laughing. It was like some videos I was just great say it, and I just bust out laughing. I could not get this line right, man. But yeah, that. But I would definitely bring back Spiritual Girlfriend first because that's like that created a whole wave because I didn't even know so many people were spiritual people. I didn't know that, and I came up in the art world, so I was
Mhm,
always around spiritual people. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
And once I
mhm.
did that video, I felt like I gave them a voice. All of them people that was from that spiritual world all start following me, all start commenting. I was like, I ain't know y'all was even there. But man, I met so many of them spiritual girlfriends at them poetry nights, man, trying to get me crystals and stuff. But yeah, telling you.
So, another question. So, you again, congratulations. You have a podcast with Pudge, and who is the third person?
Chat the comedian.
Okay. So, can you
Mm.
tell us about that?
This is co-worker homies. This is basically 3 guys that are not only working together as comedians, as co-workers, homies. We also have had jobs in our lives and we work. So we just basically talk about the funny stuff that happens at work, talk about us being on the road, on the come up, our beginnings, and just every craft and the work it takes to get there. Of course, our funny commentary on a lot of things. But yeah, man, I wasn't gonna do it at first. I was like, man, cause podcasts be too chatty, man,
Hmm,
too
hmm,
gossipy. And
hmm,
Pudge has been really diligent in getting me to do this. He's been instrumental in making me like be a part of it because he's like, yo, you don't understand. Like a lot of stuff we can't say on stage. We can't do it in a sketch.
hmm,
We have to do it through this podcast, man. And it ain't got to be no gossipy stuff and talking about what's going on now, with who sleeping with who, and all this other stuff. It's just us talking about being on the road because we do this anyway in the car. Like if you were to sit in the car with us on the way to our road trips, man, we be in the
hmm.
car dying laughing, man. That's why I always tell women, like, if you got a man that's focused, like, when you be thinking your man when he by himself with his boys, they out doing something they ain't got no business on. Man, we be out doing the dumbest stuff that ain't got nothing to do with women. Like when me and Push go back to the hotel, we literally sit up all night talking about the games. Like one night we stayed up till like 4 o'clock in the morning watching the Sports Center over and over again, talking about sports and then talking about comedy. That's all we did. You know what I'm saying? So it really is a breath of fresh air to be able to go to a podcast with my guys and just talk about comedy, man, and just give information and drop some gems, make
Hmm.
people laugh, and just express ourselves. So yeah,
Shout out to Pudge. I like Pudge's mom. I've
yeah,
seen
that's my guy. Uh-huh.
seen it.
Bro.
I love his mom. I've seen a few of her, videos. I'm gonna see if I can get Pudge. Pudge,
Yeah, definitely, he'll definitely do it.
I need you on here, Pudge. I need you. So Desi, I wanted to say you had this thing, and I think when you posted it, I replied one time. You have mental health checks.
Yeah. Mhm.
Can you tell us how, even though we know it's very important,
Mhm.
how important is it for those who don't feel like it's important?
Um, it really helps you recharge and go at things with a fresh mind when you have mental health checks, whether you talk to your boys about it, whether you talk to a therapist, whether you talk to your significant other. Mental health checks is just like your car, man. You gotta, look at that check engine light. Sometimes we try to ignore that check engine light, and whether it be like mental it could be physical sometimes. Your body's gonna let you know, and
Mhm.
sometimes you want to get to it before the engine light even come on. I'm such a grinder, man. I just tuck my head and just work. Sometimes I gotta come off the air and make myself realize, bro, you gotta chill because you taking care of your whole family. You don't want to implode and not be able to do nothing for them. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to put yourself in that situation. So, mental health checks are key, man. It's good, and like I said, having a good cast around you to remind you. Because sometimes my guy, my man Nate, also, we talk, we write comedy together. He always texts me once, twice a week. He always say how you doing, how's your head, man? How's everything going? How you feeling? Because we stress over things, and as men, we just be like, I'm just going like
Yeah.
push
Yeah.
it down, and I'm gonna just ignore it until it turned into a gallstone or something. I don't know. It's gonna turn into I don't know. And we just try to ignore it as men, bro. But we taking years off our lives trying to be super strong, and you got to be able to be vulnerable at times to clear out what we need to. But mental health checks are key, man. Got to, especially as a comedian, because we the ones that make everybody happy. And they always say check on the ones who are always happy all the time. And I totally understand that statement because we could be having you dying laughing on stage and be going through so much. The world could be at our front door, and we just got to ignore it to make everybody laugh.
So on the come up, because you've been moving and shaking lately. So and I want to definitely say congratulations to you
Thank
for
you, thank
that, because I know what it took, and I've kind of watched it from the beginning, even down to you losing your page. So
you.
how much of a toll did that take on you? Because I saw that you
Yeah, man.
were really upset about that.
I'm still upset about it, man, because it's like a thing where you're starting over. It's like a rebranding, and you ain't got no choice but to like go extra hard now and try to salvage what fans you did have that really looked out for you. Because there's still people now. It happened October 24th. It's still people now that's like, I thought you stopped doing videos. I thought you stopped doing comedy. And that's tough because like I worked this hard to get all these people to ride with me, and now I just gave up. Some people have their own interpretation of what happened. Like I just did a show in Philly. No, that was in Philly. That was in New York this past Saturday, and she was like, I thought you blocked me. So you got people who was probably mad at me, and I don't even know my page got taken. She said, I thought you blocked me. I'm like, why would I? I don't even know you. Why would I? Why would I block you? I need all the people I can get. But she was like, man, it was a pleasure seeing you. You got a whole new, and it was able to give me time to come up with new material, do the podcast, write the script, do a movie. That was still a gift in disguise. But at the
Mhm,
time
mhm,
when it happened, it was just really
mhm,
tough for me because I lost a lot of contacts, sponsors, promos, all. I lost all of that, uh, and that leverage when it comes to comedy clubs too, because people don't realize sometimes when you try to get a comedy club, you're trying to get booked for it. They're like, let me look at this. Let me look at this following.
mhm.
What's going on? He ain't got no following. Anybody booking him for no club.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
it's all a perception game when it comes to a lot of things with social media. And I know I'm a great comedian. I know I'm dope. I know I got a great following, but
Mhm.
sometimes your numbers online say different, and it has to line up with what you think you're worth. And some people look at that at your worth different when it comes to social media.
Yeah, and that's my issue, because I just feel
Mm,
like, and I play mind games with myself,
yeah,
full transparency right now, because I feel like, oh well, I think it should have this many views and then it doesn't,
yeah,
you know.
mm,
And then I also play off of my Insta story, because I can look at my Insta story one day and it's like 200 people in there worrying
mm.
about, I'm not gonna say worrying about, but are looking to see what
Your
I'm.
personal stuff.
But
Mm-hmm.
then when I go to my YouTube page, I only got 50 subscribers. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And
So
what
it's
is
like
happening right now? Yeah, and
it's not adding up. So
I say that be aware of it, but don't let it put a damper on what you're trying to do. Because sometimes you can feel like it's not moving, so I'm gonna just like slow down on it. And sometimes, like my guy Nate was telling me, like sometimes it'll take you 100 episodes to really break
mhm.
big. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to stay consistent and on top of it because you never know when you're gonna break. So it's best to have a good backing behind you to show that you've been doing this and you're worth the time because somebody may invest in it, but they want to see your history. That's why I tell a lot of people don't delete your old videos because they see a track record. They see history
Mhm.
unfolding and your quality getting better, your timing getting better,
Mhm.
and they see that you have a knack for it, and they really that's what makes people stick around.
Well, that's a very good piece of advice because I just,
Hmm.
like I said, it's really not that deep, but
Hmm.
when you're trying to accomplish something, it then
Yeah,
becomes that, and
and
then
and, and I also say it's other ways of getting some research done to get more views or whatever it's a hashtag, whatever it's like other
yes,
brands you gotta connect with. It's so many other ways. But I always say don't just give up or be down on yourself because it's a lot of people that I would say like when you look at like a you ever play a video game like basketball players and you look at their attributes and say they hops, they 3 pointers, they say they speed, they court awareness. It's the same thing with what we're doing.
hmm
It's your your hustle, it's your creativity,
hmm
your ability to stick around.
hmm
You gotta sometimes you look at somebody like how is this podcast getting this far? How they get all this view? And they say their content is at like a 5, but they hustle is like 90. You know what I'm
hmm
saying?
hmm
And then you may look at it like how, but it's their hustle. Sometimes their hustle outshines their material. Maybe they may be talking about some crap, but they found a way to get them views. You know what I'm saying? And it's that balance in between trying to make sure you stay original and true to yourself
hmm
versus doing what you got to do to gain more and more subscribers. Because then you don't want to sell yourself out, and
right.
you don't want to do a bunch of crappy media to get people to follow you, and then now you stuck in this hole where you got to keep doing crappy media or they ain't going. You know what I'm saying? It becomes a drug.
Right, right.
So it's that balance you got to find in between. But I always say, don't ever forget why you started. Don't forget that you love it. You know.
So before we wrap up, I wanted to just ask two things.
Mm-hmm.
So for all the hustlers in the world, whether they're comedians, actresses, podcast hosts, they want to sell stuff. What advice would Desi offer that person?
I would say, like, don't forget why you started. Don't forget the magic of that feeling it gave you when you first started. Don't forget that, because we tend to do it for a while, and it becomes second nature, and we take that feeling for granted. Don't
Mhm.
nothing give you that feel. Nothing would give you that feeling. I don't care if it's a relationship. I don't care if it's money. Nothing gives you that feeling that you had when you first started. Never forget that tingle it gave you. You know what I'm saying? That little bit of fear that you had before you got on stage, or investing in something, that gamble you took. Don't forget that. That's one of the most important things, and that's why and you will always remain young in what you're doing. You
Mhm.
don't want to be old in it. You be young in the face, but old. You be 50 years old in life. Like, yeah, I've been doing this for a while. So I don't even. It's just whatever. You still want to love what you do. You still want to make it. You still want it to make you smile. You still want it to give you completeness. You know what I'm saying? Like I will always feel like it's the first time I'm getting on stage when I do stand up. I love stand up so much, and no one, my wife wouldn't even get in between me and stand up. She will never get. She knew she would lose that battle 10 times out of 10 because she know I love this, and she know if it wasn't for this, she wouldn't have met me. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So comedy is like my one of my first children. Real comedians know can't nobody you ain't gonna get in between me and comedy, and that feeling is so dope, man. So just keep striving for it. I know it's going to be ups and downs, and it's just like any relationship, but don't forget that feeling you first got when you started.
And who? Okay, so two more questions. Who's Desi's favorite comedian?
Oh, mine's is my top three. I always say Eddie, Richard, and Bill. That's
Okay,
what I get. If you watch me on stage, I get my cadence from Eddie Murphy, my storytelling from Bill Cosby, and my animation from Richard Pryor.
okay.
Those three are my top three. Yeah.
And what type or what legacy does Desi want to leave the world when he retires from comedy or
If,
writing or
if
acting?
there's ever a day when I'm gone, just the fact that you can be more, um, just to inspire people to don't just stop at one thing and be painted into a corner of one thing. You can be good at all those things. You can take them serious. That's what I want people to realize and understand. You can be standing on that tall hill alone because you're good at all those things.
Mhm.
And the love for it and your consistency and you just pounding the pavement every day on top of it. Stay on it. You know.
Well, Desi, before I wrap up, I want to again say congratulations on everything.
Same to
Like
you.
I said, I've been following from day one, and I just think that you're so funny.
Same.
Um, and I've seen the work, and you're definitely doing your thing. Shout out to you. So what does Desi have coming up?
Okay, so I got you already know I got a lot of shows coming up. I'll be in Atlanta on the 20th. I'll be there on the 20th, but my show's on the 21st.
I will be there.
Um, Baltimore on the 17th. Um, you can see all the shows on the website, comediandesi.com.
Mhm.
Movie I wrote called Flood. It's an action movie. Like I'm
Okay.
serious. I'm not even making nobody laugh in this movie. I'm telling you, you people gonna probably laugh anyway, just because I'm not
I was
funny.
getting ready to say it's just certain
People
people
probably laugh.
that's
Some people
comedians that
can't
you
help it.
just cannot
And,
take serious.
and I've embraced it. I already know. People are like, why is he not? I'm not funny the whole movie. I'm just serious the whole movie. I wrote the lines for everybody else to be funny. But we got that coming up. Of course, we got the podcast. Of course, I've been working with some new management, getting on some new dates, and
Mhm.
uh, it's another the opportunity of you the first person to know the opportunity of 315, the show I'm putting together called 315. So I really want to work on that too. So yeah, that's what's coming up for me.
Okay. So again, Desi, I really, really, really appreciate you doing this with me. I feel like that this was a good conversation. You dropped some
Yes,
gems because I definitely will apply some of the stuff that
yes, got to. Don't stop, man.
you today
Definitely got
because
to.
I'm telling you, it's rough.
I know.
But
But oh, yeah.
what's your new Instagram so we
My
can
new Instagram is Desi Famous for Real. The number 4 though. Desi Famous for Real. And I was just joking making that page. Like maybe I'm gonna get my page back. I'm gonna just make it Desi Famous for Real. Now I'm stuck with that. So it's Desi Famous for Real on Instagram. And
and
everything
what's the
is
you
uh,
said your website and the Instagram for the podcast.
Co-worker homies. That's the podcast. Yep. Podcast website.
Well, thank you again, Desi. I really do appreciate the time, and
Yes.
like I said, I appreciate us having this conversation. I learned a lot. Your views are definitely, you know, and I like to have intelligent conversations.
Appreciate it. Most definitely.
Thank you so much, Desi, and everybody else. I will see you next week on episode 2 of the What a Man podcast. Bye.
Appreciate you.
Hey ladies, I know the podcast is for the men, but I have something for you too. Check out my website, www.loveandlashbyyou.com, to get quality lashes for affordable prices. Bye.